Hello, classmates and Dr. Sanchez. My name is Callie Cuny. For my research project, I will be discussing the acceptance of the implementation of mobile learning and microlearning for baby boomers, Generation X, and millennial employees for informal training purposes at Delta Community Credit Union. Thank you in advance for watching, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Today, this presentation will elaborate on the following topics: background information on Delta Community Credit Union, Delta Community Credit Union's workforce, which consists of baby boomers, Generation X, and millennials, generational characteristics that make each generation unique, what is microlearning, what is mobile learning, literature review on the usefulness of mobile technology in independent learning, disadvantages of mobile learning, and misconceptions and the implementation of microlearning. Proposal of how to implement mobile learning and microlearning at Delta Community Credit Union, including training, mentoring, and the manager's role, a synthesis, future research ideas, and a conclusion. Delta Community Credit Union was founded in 1940 with just 8 Delta Airline employees who wanted to create a secured and trusted place to store and build their finances. Now, Delta Community Credit Union has grown to over 1,000 employees with over $5.7 billion in assets, making them Georgia's largest credit union. Delta Community Credit Union prides themselves on delivering honest value, superior service, and trusted advice. They believe employees are their greatest assets and have created a learning culture to promote that. They offer many e-learning courses on career development, sales, customer service, and technical training that are stored on their company's knowledge management system. However, these courses are currently only available through Delta Community's servers, which can only be accessed while at work. Implementing mobile learning and microlearning technologies will make these courses not only more accessible, but easier to view and quicker to be completed and easier to comprehend. In today's workforce, understanding characteristics of different generations is increasingly important. All generations experience different life events that formed their attitudes and beliefs. Currently, with baby boomers postponing retirement, Generation Xers are becoming impatient for promotions, and millennials are seeking opportunities wherever they find it, even if it's not in their current company. In order to retain employees and stay competitive in today's workforce, it is important to acknowledge the general characteristics for each generation and the frictions that might occur in the workforce. Baby boomers are the most experienced workers that remain in our current workforce. They were born between the years of 1946 and 1964. They were shaped by life events such as the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the Women's Movement, and the assassination of President Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Baby boomers value their careers and often define themselves by the titles they hold. Baby boomers are extremely loyal to the company they work for, but some researchers suggest that it's because of their longevity and the benefits that come with the tenure. Because of baby boomers' longevity in the workplace, they carry a lot of knowledge about job functions and problem solving for issues that might arise. Baby boomers are also very flexible, and they're willing to do what needs to be done in order to complete a project. They love holding meetings, regardless of the length, and communicating through emails in order to complete projects. In the workplace, they are extremely hard workers and are more motivated by promotional opportunities and the titles they receive. While they respect technology, their knowledge of using technology is limited. Generation Xers were born between the years of 1965 and 1980. Generation Xers' attitudes and beliefs were influenced by the first Iraq War, the rise of divorce rate, and the HIV epidemic. Because of the rise in divorce rate and women becoming more involved in their own careers, which caused both of their parents to work long hours, this made them the first generation of latchkey kids. This means that they often came home from school to an empty house, making them become independent from an early age. Because of this, they prefer a strong work-life balance and enticing benefits at work. They brought their independence to work and they prefer to work alone and dislike being micromanaged. Generation Xers need to be challenged at work and seek out professional development opportunities. They embrace the use of technology and often prefer emails to meetings. If meetings must occur, they like them to be short, precise, and productive. Millennials were born between the years of 1981 and 1995. Millennials have been shaped by the terrorist attacks of September 11th, the Second Iraq War, and growing up with technology at the tips of their fingers. They are characterized by having short attention spans and being very technology savvy. They are always looking for areas where technology can be implemented into the workplace. They have been used to being praised growing up, and they expect the same in the workplace. This makes them very confident in their work. However, they have become dependent on management and like to be given directions. They are very achievement-oriented in the workplace, and millennials like to be heard and have the opportunities to collaborate for projects. Some generational differences that could cause conflicts include that baby boomers see millennials as being disrespectful at meetings by their use of mobile devices, where millennials see it as multitasking and could be using these devices for taking notes. Generation Xers are frustrated by the longevity of baby boomers and are becoming impatient for promotions. Millennials can be seen as lazy and self-absorbed. Some of their ideas can come across as them challenging authority, even if they are trying to improve a process with technology. While all generations may see certain aspects of the job differently, they can all agree that the implementation of technology is innovative and important to incorporate in training and other areas of the organization. Before we begin discussing mobile learning and microlearning, a brief description of informal learning will be described. Informal learning refers to learning that takes place outside of a formal environment that is initiated by the employee. Putting effort into continuous learning makes for a strong candidate in any job pool and helps to keep job promotions to internal candidates. Employees are asking for informal learnings that are suited for their individualized career paths. This can be challenging to access if the courses are not mobile compatible. Many companies are learning to adjust to how the masses of people learn, which in the 21st century is mostly internet searches and mobile technology. Dierco states that all generations are learning the value of mobile learning, and that does not just include millennials. Juan, Sego, Tang, and Lane describe mobile learning as using mobile technology to conduct learning activities. Mobile learning has become more popular the past couple of years. Smartphone technologies have significantly improved over the years with increased screen size, hundreds of applications available to download, longer battery life, and rechargeable battery packs for purchase, as well as the ease of navigation by use of the touchscreen. Smartphones' popularity has rapidly increased, and now it's hard to find someone who does not have a smartphone or tablet. This makes the use of these devices perfect for mobile learning. On most smartphones, you can access the internet anywhere, which would make learning available at any time and make opportunities for continuous learning numerous. Mobile learning has an advantage in a competitive workforce and contributes to informal learning in corporations. There are several benefits to mention about mobile learning. Mobile learning is portable. Having access to a phone or tablet that has internet capabilities are all that is needed for an employee in order to utilize mobile learning. Because this technology is portable, it makes the use of mobile learning flexible. Employees can access courses at any time that is convenient to them, including at work, at home, or even during their commutes if they carpool, take the bus, or the train. Mobile learning enhances knowledge sharing between employees by offering discussion boards where employees or management can post topics and others can respond, creating a conversation that promotes informal learning. Another benefit to mobile learning is it is inexpensive to use. Having courses and discussion boards available to view policies, procedures, and any updates that occur reduces the cost of training of having to host recurrent training events where the company would have to pay for travel expenses and loss of production while the employees are out of the office for training. Microlearning is becoming more popular for mobile learning. According to Dierko, microlearning is a small video clip that focuses on one topic. These videos are small spurts of information that only last between 4 to 5 minutes and only addresses one learning objective. This will keep the material more interesting and the employee more engaged and focused while watching. This puts employees in control of their learning by being able to choose the courses most appropriate for them. Microlearning allows the employees to receive assistance in learning a new topic when the need arises. This is where traditional training fails, since it is focused on broad topics where microlearning is very direct and focuses on specific business needs. One of the major benefits to microlearning is flexibility. Learners can view modules wherever they need them, especially if they have a mobile learning platform. They are short and specific to the content that they need at that moment. Because of the short burst and interactiveness, they are entertaining to the employees, which helps with their retention. One thing about microlearning is it does not have to just be created by the training department, but the subject matter experts, or SMEs, could create content as well. While creating these courses, keep in mind that these courses are not long and elaborate with lots of material packed into slides. Instead, Dierko recommends turning paragraphs into bullet points for ease of reading and gaining knowledge. It is also recommended to show how to do a task versus telling how to do the task. Utilize visual association whenever possible instead of using words. And be sure to include some interactive activities. Huang et al. 2014 conducted a study to determine the relationship between the perceived usefulness of mobile learning and the success rate. Huang et al. States that a learner who believes that using mobile technology is a useful tool for independent learning has a higher success rate in retaining knowledge. It is also stated that having mobile learning recommended by a person of power, such as a manager, has a higher influence on how others perceive it. Having individuals buy in when introducing new technology to the workforce is crucial for the training function and in the implementation of said technology. Further research should be conducted to determine if the success factor was due to the influences and perceptions of mobile learning or the mobile learning technology itself. This study was also conducted through the use of college students, so age is considered a limitation. Further research should be conducted to see if age has an effect on the perceptions of the usefulness of mobile learning. Ortiz and Green in 2019 listed some hesitancies to mobile learning. While studies have been conducted on the perceptions of usefulness of mobile learning technology, There is limited research conducted on whether mobile learning has a positive influence on grades and retention. Ortiz and Green also state that the small screen size on smartphones could be a disadvantage to the learner. Reviewing large bodies of text, graphics, or detailed pictures would be difficult. The small screen also makes it difficult to create content for the learner while in discussions. Security is a major threat while using mobile technology, especially if one uses social media and if it's being permitted. Organizations should consider the requirement of a strong password to protect information and creating private groups so that one must request permission to be added to the group before having the ability to view content. Companies should discourage their employees from joining public Wi-Fi networks in order to protect sensitive data. Ortiz and Green also list battery life as a disadvantage. However, with the use of rechargeable battery packs and the fact that there is increased number of establishments that offer recharging stations, the limited battery life is easily remedied. Harnett in 2018 discusses some of the misconceptions that are in microlearning and how it can benefit an organization and its employees. Harnett describes microlearning as a single concept learning. It is not a 20-minute concept that has been broken down into consecutive short video segments. That is one of the misconceptions of microlearning. He states the traditional learning strategies should still be used, but this should be utilized as to complement their learning. With technology continue to advance, people becoming more impatient in return, and that millennials will make up to 50% of the workforce by 2020, integrating microlearning will be productive for any business strategy. With millennials' shortened attention span, microlearning will be beneficial for their learning in particular. Harnett states that currently most employees only have a 4.8-minute window for learning on the job each day, which equates to less than 1% of a full work week. So incorporating microlearning will allow employees to continue to grow and allow the learning to fit into their busy schedules. Harnett put some of the previously mentioned facts into numbers. He says that microlearning is actually 58% more engaging than traditional learning and has a 97% completion rate in contrast to traditional training. Some benefits he mentioned are that microlearning can be accessed at the moment when the employee needs it, or if it's made mobile, the employee can quickly access a course in between meetings or while waiting for a client. Employees do not have to listen to lengthy messages to determine the focus of the course. Microlearnings have one clearly defined takeaway. Harnett referenced Summer Solomons, the Chief Learning Officer at Grovo, to help a company get started with microlearning. He says, start small. Identify a gap in either skills, behavior, or problem that is currently happening and focus on creating a lesson built around that one concept. Next, identify the skills the employee needs to learn to solve the problem. You need to stay focused in this course. For microlearning, you are on a time limit and only need to convey the most important factors to solve the particular problem. And finally, make it stick. The content needs to be practiced and reinforced in order for the employee to retain the information. In Girougu's study, he states that training needs transformation to continue to thrive. To go along with Harnett's figures, Girougu states that microlearning can increase retention rates by 20%. To determine this, he tested students to determine the success rate of evaluation questions. He gave one set of students the content broken down into small topic with specific content, but more evaluations since there were more courses presented. A second group with the material split in half and the evaluation questions in 2 sets. And the final group was given a large course with fewer evaluation questions but only 1 set. This resulted in the first group took 28% less time to take the assessments than Group 3, and they scored 20% better than Group 3. The first group scored 8% better than the second group. He stated that presenting a learner with large amount of content at once can lead to little interaction between information and the learner and very little retention. He stated that to take the comprehensive final, Group 3 had to reread the information a few times in order to complete the assessment. He states that the microlearning can focus more on the individual's learning needs, which is what makes them more comprehensive. Girugu believes that microlearning could help to bridge the gap between formal learning and informal learning because microlearning does not require a long amount of time to complete, so it's useful to learn content as needed. Some limitations that I found to the studies include the lack of studies conducted on how sustainable mobile and microlearnings are in formal settings. However, it is believed that in informal settings and for recurrent training purposes, these types of learning should be successful, which is why I recommend this in informal settings. Buettner and Ruscher in 2017 also state that there is not much research on the acceptance and the usage of mobile learning amongst different work groups. Most studies were for larger corporations, and there is very little research conducted on small and medium-sized corporations. Delta Community would fall into the medium-sized corporation. For microlearning, some limitations include that it is not best suited for learning complex materials because learners still need to practice and receive feedback in order to retain information, which they would not receive in a video. With the use of microlearning in formal settings, this would be very difficult. I recommend that while the learner is watching a microlearning, they should practice alongside of the course or directly afterwards to assist with comprehension and retention. Some other disadvantages of mobile learning include the screen size being too small and it's less personal, the work-life balance could be affected, and the lack of tools could be an issue for those who don't own a mobile device. These items should be taken into effect, especially if a company wants to require the use of mobile learning. However, if it is offered as supplementary option, then these disadvantages should not be an issue. For the proposed implementation strategy at Delta Community Credit Union, it consists of training, mentoring, and the manager's role. I will go into more detail. Before training can occur, it will be recommended that information security collaborate with human resources to review and create a social media policy to protect the company's information from cyber attacks and to also include social media usage while at work. Since the use of social media platform will be linked to their personal accounts, employees could become tempted to browse social media for personal reasons versus professional. It will be required that all employees partake in training for navigation of the microlearning and mobile learning technologies. To satisfy employees, we will offer a self-directed e-learning course for employees who believe they learn best that way, which will be geared more towards the independent Generation Xers and the already tech-savvy millennials. There will also be a more in-depth face-to-face training for those who prefer the classroom experience, such as baby boomers or others who feel like their learning will be enhanced by facilitators. The training will include functionality in the use of mobile learning and microlearning platforms, their benefits, and describe the reward system that encourages usage. After initial training has been completed, there will be a quick tips link in the mobile learning platform to provide helpful tips for the use and navigation of the platform. Mentorship has been proven successful for information sharing. It will be utilized for the mobile learning platforms to ensure everyone is able to use this platform to its full capabilities. Millennials will be partnered with baby boomers, and Gen X will be partnered with those that remain. The partnership between baby boomers and millennials is important because while millennials can assist baby boomers with understanding the technology aspects, baby boomers can share their workplace wisdom about navigating company politics and the knowledge gained through their years of experience. Since Generation X is already familiar with technology and they also have years of experience in the workforce, who they are partnered with is not as crucial. Mentorship is important for them to feel a sense of unity and to learn that collaborating with others, new ideas can form and develop into something more productive than when working alone. For the management's role, according to Huang et al. In 2014, it is important to have managers' full support with rolling out mobile learning and microlearning technologies. Their endorsements of these new technologies can influence employees' perceptions of mobile and microlearning in a positive manner, which can determine the amount of time the employee spends utilizing these functions. Managers will be needed to assist employees with the technologies and create pairings for the mentor program, as they know who of their staff members would be most benefited from one another. The managers will need to assist the employees with creating a career path in the mobile learning platform and assist them with courses that are recommended for their role. Based off the research conducted and literature reviews, the generational gap in the interest of implementing mobile learning and microlearning is minuscule compared to the benefits. Mobile learning and microlearning will help our employees to improve their performance and development and develop their skills by providing employees with opportunities to learn when it's convenient for them. Implementing microlearning on the mobile learning platform could help raise retention by 20%, reducing the amount of time employees have to spend researching for unknown answers. The mentor program will ensure all employees are comfortable with the technology. Plus, it promotes teamwork and knowledge sharing between employees. The rewards program built into the mobile learning platform will encourage employees to continue to share their knowledge and continue their learning, making the employees very competitive in the workplace. It is recommended that future research should be conducted to determine if mobile learning and microlearning are effective in retaining knowledge. Although research has been conducted to determine the amount of time spent using mobile learning from an educational standpoint, research needs to be conducted to determine the usage of mobile learning and microlearning systems in a corporate environment. These types of learnings are self-directed, so it's important to determine if employees are actually taking full advantage of their offerings and comprehending the policies and procedures that microlearnings contain. Although flexibility is one of the advantages to utilizing mobile learning, research should be conducted to determine if it interferes with their work-life balance. The implementation of microlearning and mobile learning was to make the employee feel they had control over their learning and to offer multiple modes of obtaining information. However, if it begins to affect their personal life, employee morale could go down. And finally, future research should be conducted to include microlearning in a training class environment. Most research has been conducted with the utilization of microlearning for continuous learning. Delta Community is devoted to their members and their employees. Continuing education opportunities for their employees are of the utmost importance to ensure their members receive a high service standards that Delta Community Credit Union is known for. Delta Community is committed to delivering innovative content that is convenient to the employees by using the latest technology. Delta Community will continue to offer their face-to-face training, e-learning opportunities, and webinars to continue to engage all of our learners. But adding in the mobile learning platform that includes microlearning will help to reach a broader spectrum of employees, especially after being trained on the program. Having the reward system in place for utilization of this platform for discussion posts and for who took the most courses will help to motivate the employees to learn and will continue to make Delta Community Credit Union's workforce more competitive. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to receiving your feedback.